I would like to begin today's webinar with these quotes by Roy T. Bennett in his book, The Light in the Heart. Don't just learn, experience. Don't just read, absorb. Don't just change, transform. Don't just relate, advocate. Don't just promise, prove. Don't just criticize, encourage. Don't just think, ponder. Don't just take, give. Don't just see, feel. Don't just dream, do. Don't just listen, hear, listen. Don't just talk, act. Don't just tell, show. Don't just exist, live. Okay, so these quotes indeed have a very deep meaning, and we all are here to follow these quotes, I believe. I am Abha, your moderator for today. Really elated to meet you all once again for the fourth time. I thank Bharat Sahodya and Dr. Salam to offer the task of moderation to me for the fourth time. I hope I'll do justice to their expectations. A small intro of mine. I am working with Akshara International School in the capacity of coordinator. I am a progressive and creative person. I enjoy doing some innovations and experimentation on a regular basis whenever I get an opportunity. So, Salam sir, I have not kept the poster of the webinar which you have sent to me today. There's something else. Now, I would request the audience to kindly find out what's there in my background. Let me see how updated my audience is. You can write it in the chat box, dear friends. Any idea what's in my background? Okay, MRI machine, CT scan, wonderful, highly updated audience I have. Exactly. This is the CT scanner or CT scan machine for children, which is created by GE to remove the fear of CT scan from children, specially designed, which is result of thinking in a way so that the tiny tots or the young kids, they don't get scared to enter this machine. Some theme-based construction is done. So this is our topic for today. So I thought of starting the session like this. Thank you so much for being so updated. In the words of Albert Einstein, the world as we have created is a process of our thinking. It cannot be changed without changing our thinking. Today's topic, design thinking, is an approach used for practical and creative problem solving. Design thinking is extremely user-centric. It focuses on humans first and foremost, seeking to understand people's needs and come up with effective solutions to meet those needs. It is what we call a solution-based approach to problem solving. It can be applied in any field or walk of life, including education and schools. Talk to any educator, parent, or policymaker, and you will inevitably hear about the many problems that exist in education. It's not the lack of trying. Millions of people are working across the country to find new solutions for our schools. And yet we are struggling to find new answers that make a real difference. As Einstein famously said, we can't solve our problems by using the same kind of thinking we used when we created them. We tend to think first about the needs of the system and create solutions from there. But what if we look first to the needs of people and then design ways the system could meet its goal by serving these needs? This is the heart of how design thinking gets to innovative solutions. It is one of the most important tools to innovation. As an educator, it is our responsibility to apply it in our teaching learning to make our learners future ready with all 21st century skills. So let's hear more about it from our resource person. I'll not take it further. Before I introduce you to the flag bearers of today's session, let me give you some pointers. Kindly be visible and be an active participant and an avid listener. Put your queries in the chat box, but first listen to the resource person. And if you have some doubts, then only write your queries in the chat box. Last few minutes will be dedicated to answer the relevant questions. Attendance and feedback link will be shared towards the end of the session. You can use previous attendance link as well for certificate. Please fill the correct details to receive the certificate on time. Stay connected till the end. Now, let me introduce to all of you to our dignitaries for today. Dear friends, as I told you, I like doing some experimentation. So today I have created something. Please comment after watching it in the chat box if you like it. Salam sir, I know you are too humble and you never want the moderators to say too much about you. But I'm taking a little liberty and doing it my way. It's a small token of respect and gratitude from me to you on behalf of all the educators. Today, I'm going to give the audience some visual treat as an introduction of Dr. Salam. So let me introduce you to our program director, Dr. Abdul Salam sir. He is an iconic personality and such leader inspires many. I'm sure many of us are already on leadership positions and some are aspiring to be. I want this webinar to be a source of inspiration to them to grow and develop. Here is a small presentation on you, Salam sir. I assume I might have to face many questions from you after this, but I'll be delighted if you like it. Give me a moment, please. Let me share. I hope the video is visible. Arun sir, can you give me an indication? Yeah.
Dr. Salam is a stalwart, a visionary, and a passionate leader who has a vision to produce a good workforce for the nation, having dreams and visions through empowerment and training, whose goal is to emerge as an acceptable educator to see that everyone gets educated properly to suit the requirements of the 21st century. He holds several positions and job profile. He is the General Secretary of CBSE Bharat Sahodaya Complex, the Principal of the Oxford School Trivandrum, the Deputy Training Coordinator CBSE Trivandrum Region. He has been the Head Examiner of CBSE AISCE 2017, Member of Inspection Committee 2020 CBSE affiliation, Member of Advisory Board of CREST, that is Center for Research and Empowerment of Students and Teachers, Kottayam, Lead Collaborator of 6 CBSE schools, Editor of CBSE Manual on Emotional Intelligence. He is an English language graduate with Masters in Education Management with several other qualifications. In the words of John F. Kennedy, leadership and learning are indispensable to each other. Dr. Salam has undergone various trainings to refine his knowledge and understanding. A futuristic leader needs to be updated and educated. He believes that learning is not a one-time event or a periodic luxury. Great leaders recognize that the ability to constantly learn, innovate, and improve is vital to their success. A true leader never keeps his knowledge to himself, but believes in transferring his knowledge. Salam sir is a true example of the same. He is a CBSE resource person and has conducted various training for different sections of educators in different capacities. Dr. Salam is a recipient of several awards and recognitions. He is an MOE approved English teacher, commended by KHDA for the effective teaching and conduct of English club programs. He has received recognition by British Council for leading the integration of international learning in school. Doctor of Letters by Dr. S. Radhakrishnan Foundation from University of South America. Appreciation from Dubai Police for initiating collaborative learning with them. Instructional Leader of 2020 Award by International Chamber of Service Industries. Received appreciation from IPN for being the most impactful school leader of 2020. Ambassador for UN Teach SDGs to represent international teachers who empower students around the 2030 UN SDG Agenda for a Better World. Outstanding Leader of the Year 2020 Award by International Education Symposium and Awards. Global School Awards for Contribution to Student Development 2020. Education Award by International Chamber of Service Industries. Ambassador of T4 Education, a global initiative for SDG 4 to attain quality education. Innovative Principal of the Year 2020 by National Education Brilliance Awards. Excellence is not an exception, it is a prevailing attitude. He exemplifies, don't aim for success if you want it. Just do what you love and believe in, and it will come naturally. When there is honesty in hard work, success is inevitable. Nothing great was ever achieved without enthusiasm. He has been awarded the certificate by Times of India for being a visionary leader. There is no investment you can make which will pay you so well as the effort to cater sunshine and good cheer through your establishment. Your hard work pays. Management is doing things right. Leadership is doing the right things. When you do the right things, name and fame become your followers. An article of 4 pages published in Education Plus Connect for Dr. Abdul Salam. Thank you, Dr. Salam, for being the transformer of our lives. The education world will always be grateful and indebted to you, sir.
So now I very humbly invite Respect Salam sir to address the gathering and do the felicitation. Over to you, Salam sir.
Thank you, Abha ma'am. Good evening, everyone. Respected resource person, all the edu leaders, educators, teaching community who have gathered here. First of all, let me congratulate Abha ma'am for putting in a lot of hard work in presenting such a beautiful, environment behind her. When we were discussing yesterday, we were, discussing that we should have something different from our usual presentation. So thank you so much for bringing this CT scanner for us, and also thank you for the introduction. That is an honor to me. Thank you so much. Dear participants, as she said, hard work really matters. So that is the evidence that you have seen, the hard work she has put in presenting. And also Lavina ma'am, our respected resource person, is here for the 3rd time. She is especially dealing with all her sessions are dealing with 21st century skills. We had a teacherpreneurship, 2 series of teacherpreneurship before, and this is the 3rd one, design thinking for 21st century learners. I think it's very important, and the need of the hour. And of course, life is full of challenges, and we are facing challenges every day. But we should not let our children run away from the challenges, as sometimes we also run away from challenges. I cannot do it. I am leaving my job, right? If we have that attitude, I cannot do it. I have lots of struggle, tension, pressure, challenges. I'm leaving this job and I'm finding out another job. Then we will have time only for running away from the struggles and challenges of life. I was listening to an interview of Amitabh Bachchan yesterday, which struck me when he was complaining to his father. He was telling, I cannot cope up this life which is full of challenges. Then his father said, yes, better if things happen according to your wish in your life, it's okay, it's good. But if things do not happen according to your wish, it's better. Because if there are struggles only, we realize the value of our life. We realize the importance of our hard work. We realize the importance of the necessity to have a mindset to lead further and showcase ourselves as models for others. So let us take this session to design our thinking, because we have to design our thinking in a different way so that we can make our students design their thinking in a different way, thereby thinking out of the box and being creative and innovative. So thank you so much, Lavina ma'am, for suggesting this topic to us and preparing for enlightening all the educators here. Thank you so much. Over to Abha ma'am. Let's listen to the resource person very carefully and let us implement it. That's a request. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Salam sir, for your words of encouragement and support and guidance. Now I will do a quick introduction of our program collaborator, Mr. Shibu S. Just give me a moment, please. Yeah. So one minute. Mr. Shibu S is the principal of HKM English School, Kerala. He is the president of Bharat Sahodaya, vice president of Confederation of all Kerala Sahodaya complexes, co-founder of Bharat Sahodaya, the chairman of Bharat Edison. I'm really happy to have sir here. Salam sir, is Shibu sir present today? Just tell me.
No, ma'am, you can go ahead, please.
All right, so thank you, Shibu sir, for all your support. Let's move ahead. So I'm really delighted and happy to introduce to you all our resource person for today. She is a great visionary and dedicated to empower education community by imparting knowledge. At present, Ms. Lavina Chauhan, ma'am, is working as a professional learning and development leader at GEMS, our own high school, Dubai, and also teaches English to senior secondary section. Lavina ma'am has around 24 years of continued roles and professional experience in the education and training industry. She has extensive certification relating to education industry. She had received various accolades and recognitions. She has received appreciation from Which School Advisor on a global platform among list of 12 dedicated professionals across UAE. Award from the Indian Consulate for the exemplary contribution in imparting quality education to students. GEMS Excellence Award. Teacher of the Month Award, May 2020. Virtual Apple Award from Tellel Institute. Appreciation from CBSE for being the resource person for training teachers of CBSE schools across Gulf countries and India. So I wholeheartedly welcome Lavina ma'am to this session, and I expect we all are going to, I am pretty sure that we are all going to get a lot of guidance from her. Over to you, Lavina ma'am.
you so much, Abha ma'am, for that elaborate introduction. Thank you, Salam
Just
sir.
one thing, sorry to interrupt, ma'am. Just one thing I would say. Along with Salam sir, Lavina ma'am is another humble person whom I'm with today, and they both were really reluctant. And these introductory things I have done without their knowledge. So, so I'm really sorry to take that liberty. I know you do not like so much of limelight, but it was my wish, and I wanted to do it, ma'am. So I've done that. Over to you, ma'am. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Abha ma'am. Thank you, Salam sir, for giving me this opportunity over and over again. So every time there's something new coming up with education, sir will always message me and ask, is there anything new? And when he put the ball in my court for design thinking, I was a little perplexed in the beginning because I myself was trying to figure out what it was all about. So, sir, I would like to really thank you from the bottom of my heart for giving me various opportunities to learn and explore and bring before all the educators whatever I have learned through my experience, as well as whatever I have researched. Today, it's an honor and a pleasure for me to be here. I would like to thank my school authorities for giving me the permission to share my best practices on this platform as well. So, good afternoon to all the transformers here. I would like everyone to just pat yourself and say that all is well, I am a transformer. I know you all are behind this. I know some of them are behind the screens and some of them are on the screen, but just like Salam sir said, I totally agree with him. Until you believe in yourself, you cannot make a difference. And so here we are to transform the lives of the little children who are entrusted in our care. So therefore, let's begin our session for today. As this morning, I was just talking to Ms. Abha that for us in UAE, it is a time to relax because it's a Saturday evening and we are getting prepped up for the Sunday routine. And while as in India, you all are in a relaxed mode and, towards the Saturday weekend, you are having those weekend vibes. In spite of that, you have made it a point to attend this session. And so I'm really grateful to each one of you. So I will not make it very boring, but in case you feel, okay, you're finding it boring, you please feel free to put it in the chat box so that I can change my track. So here we go. Ma'am, can we start with by sharing the slides? Please, could you help me?
Share. Yes. Is the PPT visible, ma'am?
Yes, ma'am.
All right.
Ma'am, can you put it on slide share, please? Okay, thank you, ma'am. So the topic for today's session is design thinking for 21st century learners. Can somebody tell me what are the thoughts that came to your mind when you thought of this workshop or when you thought of this webinar, or even when you read the word design thinking? What are the thoughts that crossed your mind? Can I have answers in the chat box, please? Wow, good to see Dr. Mridula Mahajan here.
Innovation, communication, unique ideas.
Yes.
Technology, creative learning, creativity. Thinking in a holistic manner, a change out of the box thinking. Innovative ideas, unique thinking, critical and creative, novel ideas, literal thinking. Yeah, ma'am. Basically,
yes.
Mostly creative thinking.
All the answers that you all have written are correct. One of the answers was out of the box thinking. And yesterday I was just talking to Abha ma'am, saying we all have to do out of the box thinking and we have to make our students also do out of the box thinking. But now it's time for us to, for us to make them understand that they need not think out of the box. They need to think as if there was no box at all. So I'm coming to that as I move towards the session. Can we move on to the next slide?
Yes, ma'am.
So here we go, design thinking in education. The next is the learning objectives. Ma'am, next slide, please.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. To acquire a deep understanding of the key concepts and principles of design thinking, understand the mindsets of a design thinker, acquire detailed knowledge of design thinking process, methods and tools in creative problem solving, develop skills in applying design thinking mindsets, methodology and tools in co-creating an improved customer experience journey through workshop practice. Learn how to improve personal effectiveness by becoming a more empathetic service provider. Now, the reason for me to pen down all these learning objectives was I had a couple of questions asking me regarding the syllabus for design thinking as a skill subject. Now, just to clear that point, I am not going to deal with design thinking as the skill subject. I would be dealing with design thinking to be used in all the subjects every day. So, as far as my knowledge goes, I'm not very clear on the idea for the syllabus for design thinking as a skill subject, okay, which the CBSE has introduced. But I am speaking about design thinking, which we can incorporate in our day-to-day lessons. Okay. So, ma'am, could we have the next slide? Abha, ma'am. Okay. So,
Is it visible, ma'am, now?
yes,
Because I got
yes,
disconnected for a while. Yeah. Okay.
yes. The next slide, please.
Yes.
The next slide is the quote of Tim Brown. He is a British industrial designer and the president of IDEO. Design thinking is a human-centered approach to innovation that draws from the designer's toolkit to integrate the needs of the people, the possibilities of technology, and the requirements for business success. Basically, design thinking is making thinking visible. The next slide. So today we are going to deal with the key concepts and principles of design thinking, mindsets of a design thinker, design thinking process, methods, and tools. Next slide. So as you all know, I believe there are a number of innovation ambassadors here. And this is what we learned in our session, that design thinking is a thought process that is used to solve problems by empathizing with the users. Now, our users are the students. It is an iterative and collaborative process which keeps the user at the center of the solution. So everything that we are doing at the end of the day comes down to the needs, to fulfilling the needs of our students. Next slide. Here's a picture of a wonderful car. Can somebody tell me which car it is? Can anyone name the car?
Lamborghini.
Yes.
Ferrari.
Oh my God. Okay. Okay. Some of you feel it's a Lamborghini and some of you feel it's a Ferrari. Okay. Many of you may be having this car as your dream car. Okay. Now, if, God willing, you have the money and you would like to buy this car, what are the things that you're going to do? What if you had to buy this car? Or for that matter, if you have to buy any vehicle, what do? No one wants to buy any vehicles? Okay, review. Okay.
Review, Rekha ma'am said, work hard to attain it.
Oh, wow. Enjoy a long drive.
Long drive, work hard. Yeah.
Very funny. travel to the favorite destination, new features, save money, earn for it. Okay, so there are various things that you would do because you want to buy the car. Okay. My next question is, what if you were the manufacturer of this car? Okay, you had a dream and you wanted to manufacture a car. Okay, what would be the steps that you would take? Imagine you are the manufacturer. Yes, analysis, unique features. Okay, planning, very good. Designing. I'll think of all the possible expectations. Okay, men's need, budget. Okay, raw material, customer need, speed, user friendly. Okay. Okay, so there you go. All of you are designers. And every day in your everyday lives, whether it be cooking or whether it be teaching the students or maybe any activity that you are doing, it involves design thinking. It's just that I am here to make you realize that every day you are doing a lot of design thinking in your everyday lives. Let's move on to the next slide. The next slide is a video. So just relax and enjoy the video. Some of you may have already watched it.
Is the screen visible, ma'am?
No, ma'am. Yeah, it is now.
It is, yeah. Just a minute. Give me a moment.
I think a number of you may be watching this Ayush Shraddha's video, and I found one of them and I thought of sharing it here.
Is it audible, ma'am?
Yes.
You're fighting with your boss or your boyfriend? Huh? No, I'm just composing a caption for this photo I'm uploading on Insta. Huh? What photo? Show. Yenilla, it's her photo only, drinking tea. But don't put that photo. She's wearing sleeveless dress in that. I can't believe I still don't have the freedom to... No. You don't have the freedom to do whatever you want with my saree. It's stitched with my saree. You want to stitch sleeveless dress means get your own material. Material alla. Material. Material. I typed. Hey, material. Material. Drinking tea gives me a real happiness. Material happiness. That's the caption. And it's also a pun on material happiness. What's real?
Oh my God. You are putting a photo or a greeting card, huh? So much creativity you are showing in writing your resume means definitely today she will have better job, huh?
Over smartness in everything. You got your surname spelling corrected in Aadhaar card? No, she's too busy for that. But to write one caption, she has time to do BA in philosophy. Huh? See, you won't understand. Every picture has a story to tell, and with a caption, I'm trying to tell that story. I will tell the story. I made that tea that she's drinking in the photo. She took 600 selfies with it, did not drink it. Then I picked up the cup from the balcony and put it for wash. That's all.
Tea waste, huh?
Yes.
You know, your caption should be material loss. It's a real loss of tea.
And you want stories, you see our photos. So many stories are there because so many people are there in every photo. This is my cousin and her husband. They used to be so poor, you know, but today they have 5 BHK in Koromangla. This is my brother. He and Ravi Shastri studied in same college. This is my husband. That time he used to have spondylitis.
Correct.
This is my nephew. He did love marriage. So nobody in the family is talking to him now. Like this, so many stories are there. What is there in your photo? You laughing, you relaxing, you eating, drinking, you pretending like nobody's taking your photo. That's all. What is there? And we did not take so many photos just of ourselves, did we?
And if you are taking also means it is passport photo or ration card, application forms and all. and we will take 50 copies. Lifelong same photo we will give. We don't care what people think, how you look. You look same. Aadhaar card, wedding photo, same everything.
And yet, last week I helped you caption your Facebook picture. I just confirmed the spelling of occasion. Get together occasion. That was the caption. Not complicated captions like you put this indirect messaging to people. Oh, letter and all.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah.
It's like taunting. Lightly taunting.
So here's the video that y'all watched about Ayushratha. And this is the situation in all the families today, wherein the students or the children think that they know more than the parents. And yes, at times they do. Here it was just the question of a caption, but she thought about a caption which should, which should attract people or which should be different from the others. That's what children are trying to do today. They want to be different from the others. They want to explore, they want to research, they want to go out, they want to do out of the box thinking. Okay, it was just the question of a simple caption. Okay, but see how the 21st century learners are. Even for that simple caption, they think how it should go along with a picture. So similarly, our lessons also have to be planned according to the need of the hour. Let me take you to the next slide. The next slide has two pictures, A and B. Okay, what do you see in picture A? Any guesses? What do you see in picture A and what do you see in picture B?
Butterfly, fish, collage work, apple, art coloring, mosaic, apple, pick. A is collage.
Okay, there you go. These pictures must have taken you back to your school days when your art teachers asked you to put the pieces together and arrange a mosaic. Okay, and as of now, when you see that when the children click a lot of pictures, they try to prepare a collage. So the picture A is of a mosaic, the picture B is of a collage. But bottom line of the story is the same, putting the pieces together. That is what you and me are doing every day in our everyday lives. We are trying to put all the pieces together, collect all the possible answers from the students, and come back to a common consensus. I know we have gone through a lot of highs and lows of pressure, and with the pandemic coming in, suddenly from the traditional way of teaching, we've moved on to technology. Then CBSE board introduced, there was a total paradigm shift wherein we had competency-based education. By the time we were trying to understand what competency-based education was, it was the NEP coming in, NEP 2020, and then so on and so forth. And now the latest is design thinking. So for teachers, the year 2020 and 2021 have been years wherein I would rather put it this way, that we are the history makers of tomorrow, because there has been a sudden shift in the paradigm. And this sudden shift has made us more flexible, has made us do a lot of research, has made us explore what is the need of the hour. It has made us, more techno savvy. Otherwise, it was always our children who are more techno savvy than us. And even now, I think the same is the case. Like my son, he knows more than me where computers or, where the mobile phone is concerned. But nevertheless, somewhere we have tried to catch up with them. Okay. And therefore, as I mentioned in the beginning, that we are here to impact lives and to make a difference. Let me take you through the story of Thomas Alva Edison. Most of you know and heard, but this is just a recall. When he was small, he could not hear. And, he had various other issues, and he was a dropout from school. He was very weird. He used to continuously keep on asking questions. The teacher was fed up of him, and in the end, the mother decided, the mother was very strict, and she decided to take him out of school, and she started teaching him at home itself. And then as time passed by, this boy never bothered because the friends laughed at him. They thought, he's asking stupid questions and all. Still, Edison went on and on. And when he was at the age of 10, he, set up his own small laboratory at home. Okay. And he tried to experiment things out in those days. Okay. Soon as time passed by, he used to work at the railway station and sell newspapers, sell food, and whatever money used to come with that, he used to buy stuff, what was required to perform experiments. And slowly as time passed by, he invented the electrographic vote recorder, wherein, nowadays we do the voting system. It was first invented by him. Then he went on phonograph. After the phonograph, he invented the light bulb. But in all this, he must have failed more than 10,000 times. But though he failed 10,000 times, he always said that I have not failed, but I have found 1,000 ways that won't work. This is what we have to tell our children. We have to build the confidence in them that we have to come up with a number of solutions and then find which is the right solution to the problem. So it is not about failing. It is about finding 1,000 ways that won't work. Similarly, even in our lessons, we find there is a group of children who are smart learners. There is a group of children who are, middle achievers. There is a group of children who are low achievers. There is a group of children with, there's a great challenge in teaching them or in making them understand. Okay. So we have various categories of children in our classes. For us also, when we get into a class, we don't only keep in mind the high flyers, but we also keep in mind those who are finding it difficult to grasp and understand what we are teaching. And therefore, there is no perfect way. Every day, we find a number of ways in which we can make our students understand the topic that we are teaching. Okay, now suppose I'm taking a topic on photosynthesis today. Tomorrow, I might teach them about, let's say, about speed and light. Okay, now the way the photosynthesis is taught, the same way I'm not going to teach them about speed and light, right? Because I know the strengths and the weaknesses of my students. So accordingly, I will plan the lesson. This is what you and I have been doing on a daily basis. Okay, similarly, even Einstein did the same at the age of 24, even when he lost his mother and the father also lost his job. There is one thing that he said that, I need to change my life and no one can do that. So there are times in our life, yes, with the load of pressure of correction and, teaching and the exams and the question papers, all of it is there. But we need to manage things on our own. Teaching is all about organization and management. We have been doing it for years together and we can do it further on as well. So if we need to bring about a change in the lives of our children, we first need to tell ourselves that we can make a change and nobody else can do it for us. It is only we who can do it. Therefore, next slide, ma'am. The first thing that you should be telling your children is, there is nothing such as impossible or I can't. You can, but there are a number of ways of doing it. So that one idea that you plant in their mind can change the world. Can we move on to the next slide? Now, when Albert Einstein or any other inventor, you know, when they thought of inventing something, they thought of innovation, they thought of growth, they thought of development, they thought of an idea, they thought of creativity, they thought of a vision, then they thought of, critical thinking. All these things they thought. And if they could do it at that time, our students can do it now, because now things are more easily available. In those days, there was no Google, there was no Wikipedia, there were no laptops, there was nothing of the technology that we use today. So if they could do it during those times, we can definitely do it now. The next slide is about critical thinking. And I'm sure all of us are practicing this in our everyday lessons: observation, analysis, inference, communication, problem solving. The only thing design thinking has come in to tell us how our approach to all this should be more systematic. Okay? How our thinking or our approach or our dream or the ideation should be done according to the different stages of design thinking. So in design thinking, those innovation ambassadors who are here and the ones who know a lot about design thinking, please can you type in the chat box the 5 stages of design thinking. The 5 stages. What are the 5 stages of design thinking? Can you please type out the 5 stages of design thinking in the chat box? Yes, I can see discover, dream, ideation, define, okay, very good, design, ideate, okay, empathize, define, ideate, prototype, testing, very good. So, yes, systematic planning, okay. So, Abha ma'am, could we move on to the next slide? So all that you wrote in the chat box is all here. Empathize, define, ideate, prototype, test, implement. It's understanding, exploring, and materialize. This is what you have been doing every day. So when you look at these jargons like empathize, ideate, prototype, don't get confused or don't be disturbed. Oh my God, now what's this new thing? You're doing it every day. Okay. Only the thing how we are going to do it systematically, I will take you through the process. Next slide. Now, design thinking. Now, why the design thinking process? Now, different organizations have their own take. Okay. For example, if you ask me, IDEOU, according to them, the stages are desirability, viability, and feasibility. If you ask me what is IBM doing, IBM would be doing understanding, exploring, prototype, and evaluate. If you ask me about IDEO, it's ideation, inspiration, implementation. Okay, but I would like you to focus your attention on the Stanford's design thinking process, which we are going to follow or which the CBSE has decided to follow. Okay, so Stanford's design thinking process involves 5 stages. First is empathizing, second is defining, third is ideating, fourth is prototype, and the fifth is test. Okay, I think the slide is self-explanatory. Empathizing is connecting with and understanding the users. What do you do when you enter the classroom? Or I would reframe this question. What do you do when you are planning to teach a lesson? What do you do? Any lesson. It could be in English, math, science, social studies, art, PE, whatever. Any lesson. Warm up, okay. Give intro, age group objectives, okay. Preparation, brush up, research, icebreaker, activity, learning objective, keep the students in mind. Okay, outcomes, okay. The very first thing that you do is whatever plan you make, whether it's checking of the previous knowledge, whether it is an icebreaker, whether it is, designing your objectives. When you're doing all of this, what are you doing? Let's say today you are sitting to prepare a lesson plan for your Monday lesson or for your Sunday lesson. Okay, so you're busy planning. Okay, when you are planning, what is the first thing that you do? Okay, you might tell me that you do an opening activity. You might tell me that you have a pre-assessment. Okay, fine. I can see designing, creating. Okay, for designing, creating, before that, what do you do? Yes, Ms. Subha has written, you keep the children in mind. That is empathizing. Startup activity, objectives, planning, designing, everything falls in place only when you empathize. You connect with and you understand the users. So empathy is no big deal. It is every teacher, like I said at the beginning, knows their students very well. That is how we know who are the high flyers, who are the average, who are the middle achievers, who are below average. How do we come to know? Because of our experience with them, because of our rapport with them, because of our interaction with them, because we have tested them. And based on that, you prepare a lesson plan. Based on that, you prepare the opening activity. Based on that, you prepare the content. Based on your students' need, you prepare what is required. And that is what is the empathy stage. Okay? Define. The next stage is define. So then you start designing a plan, okay, that will fulfill the needs of all the learners. Okay, you start identifying what are the issues and how you will address them and how you will make sure that no child is left behind. Correct? So that is the stage where you define. Okay, the next is ideate. For ideation, in earlier, if you have noticed that the teachers that we had, or maybe our parents' teachers in the olden days, they used to teach us lessons and they used to give us question answers. But now the needs have changed, and now we do not straight away give them the answer, but many a times we put up a question and we ask them to come and solve, or we ask them, can you share your ideas? How can we go about this problem? What are we doing? We are brainstorming. That is ideation. Okay. Next is prototyping. Now in prototyping, a number of students have given a lot of ideas. Sometimes, some students will come up even with answers that are not relevant to the topic, isn't it? But we teachers, because we are experienced, we know how to, change their focus or how to keep them on track. And so we collect all these ideas and we come up to a consensus and we tell them, okay, these are all the ideas. Can we all put them together? And then we come up with what they are supposed to be learning. Okay. And then you bring out the answers from them. You share your subject knowledge. They share what they are trying to understand. They connect their knowledge with the subject. They connect their knowledge with, various other things that they are learning around them. Okay. And then what do? You put all this together and you try to test them by asking questions, right? To check whether they've understood or not. So this you are doing on a regular basis. So there's nothing new, but the only thing about design thinking is very important. You have to allow the children to think on their own. You have to allow them to come up with a number of ideas and give them the confidence that they are not going to be laughed at by anyone, because certain ideas may seem stupid, but you never know. They might work out for a different project. Okay. So in the design thinking process, you have to facilitate learning by allowing the children to think on their own, to think at the spur of the moment. You have to allow them, so that they will be able to make good decisions in life. Okay. So let's move on to the next, understanding the framework of design thinking. So design is not a product designers produce. You and me are designers. Okay. It's not a product that we produce. Now, design is a process that designers facilitate. This is what I was talking about. It is a process that we are facilitating on a regular basis. So in order for you to understand the framework of design thinking, a design action plan is a series of action phases that execute the design thinking process. A mindset is a set of thinking traits or behaviors that runs the design thinking process consistently and effectively. The action plan and mindsets are required to run together. Now I asked you a simple question. What if you have to buy a car? So many thoughts must have ran across your mind. Okay, if I need to buy a car, I need to do this. I need to plan my budget. I need to, take reviews. I need to see the features. So many things cross your mind, right? So after a number of thoughts have crossed your mind, you would prepare an action plan. Okay, I need to buy the car. So these are the showrooms that I will visit. Okay, let me check what are the features. Okay, let me compare it. This is what we always do. A similar question I had asked at my school: what if you need to buy a house? What are you going to do? So people started thinking, okay, if I have to buy a house, what do I have to do? Made a list of things. Okay. And then we put it into action. Correct? This is what we have to do with our students also. Allow them to dream. Allow them to come up with ideas. Allow them to, think out of the box. Let's move on to the next. So whatever the 5 stages of design thinking are, they tell us that we are all designers. Empathize is understanding the user need. Who is your user? Your students are the user. Okay. So what matters to us is what we are going to teach them according to their need. Okay. Define. For define, we create a point of view that is based on user needs and insights. What are their needs? Okay, how am I going to take them through this process? How am I going to define? Okay, ideate, as I told you, it's brainstorm and come up with as many creative solutions as possible. Okay, now sometimes when children come up with weird solutions, we tell them keep quiet. Even I have done it, at times, because, we are in this hurry to complete the syllabus and things like that, and there are students in our class who are excited to tell us so many things. And at that time, there are times when we do not encourage their ideas. Let me be honest, because yes, in my classes also, when you ask them questions, which they like, let's say, okay, did you watch the movie Three Idiots? Everyone will have an answer to that question. Everyone, right? And some of them will answer to the point. Some of them will start summarizing the story. Some of them will speak about Amir Khan. Some of them will speak about the innovation, and then it is our duty as a teacher to encourage wild ideas and then bring them back. That is very important. Okay, that is what is the prototype stage. Build a representation of one or more of your ideas to show to others. How can I show my idea? Okay, so encourage them to share their ideas, to come up with models, to think. Each one is unique, so each one is going to think in a different way. Okay, test. Now, normally, in our school or even in the other schools, there are times when we give them a success criteria. Then we ask them to do a particular activity. Then we give them the rubric, and we ask them to test themselves, that is self-evaluation, or we will ask their peers to test them. Okay, so this is what happens in testing, and then you should be giving them the freedom to talk to their classmates about, okay, this idea worked well or this didn't work well, and why didn't it work? Okay. I remember reading the story of William Colgate when he was young, I think around when he was 16 or something. That is the time he started, he started working for a soap industry, an industry which used to manufacture soaps and all. And because that time the father was going through a financial loss, and they were not very well to do at that time. So at the age of 16, he joined a company which manufactured soaps. And when he joined that company, okay, he did not only learn how to manufacture soaps. Along with that, he first tried to figure out those elements that were hindering the progress of the company, or he tried to find out, okay, where are the loops and holes where the company is not able to progress? Okay, what are the drawbacks? Okay, normally we tell our students, okay, this is the correct answer, finished, over and out. But the student should know why he has gone wrong. Or we should allow the students to go back and think, okay, why did he think this way? Okay, instead of directly correcting the student and telling, no, this answer is wrong. Instead of that, we can tell them, okay, find out why you have gone wrong. That would be a better idea, so that they learn to think, they learn to reason, and they come up with the right solutions. Okay, let's move on to the next slide. Now, why is this important? Because it involves inquiry-based learning, where the students use the process to structure their inquiry. Then you have practitioner inquiry, where the teachers are using the process to inquire and develop their craft. Okay, because here you are trying to check, okay, how many students have understood? If they've not understood, let me revisit. Okay, then school improvement. Yes, the leaders of the school, they come in for lesson observations. They try to find out, and they try to develop things in the school that will be for the benefit of everyone. And then teaching teams design using the process. So design thinking is very important, because it does not only help you, it helps the stakeholders, it helps the students, it helps the leadership team, and overall it helps every member associated with the school. Can we move on to the next slide, ma'am? Now, many a times when you walk into the class, you give them a number of pictures. Okay. Suppose I show you this picture and I ask, what are the images that come to your mind when you see or when you hear of these things happening? What are the images that come to your mind? What do you think? What will be the answer of the students? Poverty, man's destruction, child labor, sympathy, flood, okay. Poor living condition, okay. Now, you can ask the students, okay, this is what you see in the picture. Land degradation, okay. Plastic wastages, pollution, okay. So now you tell them, okay, these are the problems that these people are facing. What are the solutions that you can come up with? And believe me, children will come up with solutions that will even blow our minds, because these 21st century learners are they explore a lot of things, they do a lot of research, and they want to find out more and new ways of learning things. Okay, so they will come up with a number of issues, they will come up with a number of solutions. And if you have a debate, then it will definitely go to the next level, wherein, if one person raises an issue, the other person will tell you how to resolve the issue, and what are the advantages, what are the disadvantages. And you will see that so many answers have come up in the class. You have planned for the lesson in one direction, but the lesson has gone to a different direction, and the children have learned so much, and which is beyond your imagination. So this is how you can go about. I will show you the picture in the next slide. Next slide, ma'am. When you are planning to ask them questions, even if it is a simple picture, let's take the picture of the pandemic. Okay. When you are planning questions, plan questions very carefully. Okay. First of all, you need to tell yourself, how do I get my students to think, reason, and explain? Based on these three, think, reason, and explain. Based on these three, try and frame the question, and then see the kind of answers that you get. Okay. If you tell them about something that has, which has a real life connection, something that they enjoy. Let's say, for example, if, you tell them, have you watched the movie 3 Idiots? It's about innovation. They will talk to you about what all things they have read in connection to innovation. Okay, which we may not even know. So that is how you can connect the lessons to something of their interest. You can connect the lessons to real life situations. You can connect the lessons to, you can have a cross-curricular link with another subject, and talk to that subject teacher, and together you can have a lesson. So this is going to make it very interesting for them, rather than having a monotonous way of teaching every day, because every day children want something new. Even we, every day if we eat biryani, we'll get fed up. So we want to learn something new every day. So that is how even children, every day when they are coming to class, they know, oh God, today it's English period. Oh my God, the same old story. Or it's the history period. It shouldn't be like that. It should be, oh, today it's history period, or today it's English period, or today it's science period. What is the teacher going to teach me? That excitement and enthusiasm has to be there. And that has to come from us. When it is in us, obviously, it will attract the children. Let's move on to the next slide, ma'am. So when you are giving them a model or a project or a question or a sum, what do you do? You first define the problem, find out ways, that is research, analyze, see what fits into the right box, ideate, come up with many solutions, prototype, refine the solutions, explain, choose the best solution, and then implement the solution. Let's move on. Now, something very important for us to know is critical thinking is a combination of creative and analytical thinking. Okay? Because if you see the picture, the left brain is more about analytical, rational, objective, facts, planning. All this is done by the left side of the brain, and the right side helps in creativity, holistic, subjective, feelings, emotions, imagination, presence of mind, the spontaneous ideas that they get. So it's a combination. Design thinking is a combination of creative as well as analytical thinking. Next is, I have spoken for too long. Ma'am, next slide, please. So I would like you to do something. Okay. The emphasis on the school students is based on the retention of information, which is assessed in a test-based environment. For example, unit tests measure the students' short-term memory, which encourage them to think of single solutions to complex problems. Now, think of the ways how schools can assess and cultivate creativity and critical thinking in the students instead of rigorous examinations. Write your answers in the chat box. This is something that even I would like to learn from each one of you. So we have Rekha ma'am saying projects. Okay. Research, very good. Anyone else? Give case studies, very good. Quiz, debates, okay. Inquiry-based learning, portfolios, yes. Project-based learning. Extended writing, role plays. Discussion, okay. Enrichment activities. Can we think out of the box? Don't you think we are doing this every day? Speaking activities, okay. Debate, we have been doing this for a couple of years, okay. Flipped lessons, very good. Hands-on activities, okay. Case studies, experiential learning, okay, very good. Mind maps, okay. Student-led lessons, very good. Flipped class, yes. Okay, organize, flipped teaching, okay. Okay, so blended learning, okay. Community work, okay, very good. Kitchen garden, yes. So we've come up with a number of ideas. What I would like to say is, what if the student is involved in a lot of life hacks, these life hack videos, if you've seen on YouTube, can't we use them for project-based learning? Gone are those days when we said, oh, hello, how are you? It's now like, hey dude, hey guys, what's happening? Isn't it? This is the language that our students speak. So can we not introduce activities or projects where they upload on YouTube, where they prepare life hack on Reels? They're so fond of Instagram. Why don't we use it in a productive way? They're so fond of, YouTube. They're so very fond of social media. Why don't we use that same social media to educate them in the right way? So they are very good at, writing blogs. Let's encourage them. They are very good at, acting. Let's ask them to do a role play and upload it on YouTube. They are very good at experimentation. Let's prepare life hacks and ask them to prepare a reel or a TikTok video. Why not? And that is where we have to change our mindset of thinking, and we have to encourage them to do what is right. Yes, podcast. Sunita ma'am has written podcast. Very good. So we have to think of innovative methods of, judging them or of cultivating their creativity and critical thinking. Let's move on to the next. Next slide is about a daily jigsaw that you and me are doing. This is nothing new, but only I have, made it in a more systematic way. Okay. Every day, all of us, when we are planning our lessons, we are thinking of lesson objectives, lesson outcomes. Okay. What is the first thing that we think before planning is, what will the students experience? What will be the result? Will they be able to understand what I'm trying to bring out from them? That is your goal. Okay, which covers the objectives and the outcomes. Okay. Then next question is, now that we have moved on from traditional teaching to technology, we are always thinking, okay, what are the technology skills and goals? Can I use technology? Can I use Kahoot? Can I use Nearpod? Can I use WooClap? Can I use Mentimeter? How can I make my lesson more interesting? The next is, you think of the curriculum. What specific curriculum learning outcomes will be addressed in this lesson or in this project-based learning? That is how you are preparing your lesson plan. How do I engage my students? Okay. You frame questions in such a way that the students starts thinking, okay, why did this happen? What do I already know about this? What can I find out more about this? Then the elaboration stage, you make connections with real life. In student exploration, use inquiry to explore and investigate. You allow them to think freely. In explanation, you know what is required and what are the things that you're going to explain, or how do you want them to critically analyze. Then you have the evaluation stage. You're asking open-ended questions. You're asking, questions which have why, what, who, when, where. Okay, to check on the progression, right? After that, you do your self-assessment. Okay, did the lesson work? Did it not work? What were the strengths of the lesson? What went well? What didn't go well? This is a daily jigsaw that you are planning. But now it's just that you are thinking out of the box, keeping yourself in the shoes of the students. Next slide, ma'am. So the design process begins with empathy, ends with a test. It's empathy, interpret, imagine, plan, test. So the design process cycle is user-centered. Okay. So our point of focus is the learners, our students. Okay, next. Next slide, ma'am. Now this is especially for all the maths experts over here. Consider you are a parent teaching your son mathematics. Your son is learning how to work with ratios. He's asked to divide the amount of money between John and Edward in the ratio of 12 to 9. He does not quite understand the question. How would you help him understand the ratio problem? Any maths teachers? Use concrete examples. Okay. Yes, Mridula ma'am. Very good. Explain with real life examples. Okay. Routine examples. Yes, Shweta ma'am. With materials. Okay. Purna ma'am has written, make him thorough with the multiplication and explain with objects. Yes, definitely in the lower classes. Anyone else? Daily use concrete examples. Okay. Daily life situation. Okay. Using a pie chart. Okay, Manju ma'am. Yes, Sujata ma'am has said apple slices. Yes, I'm coming to that. Practical examples. Very good. Let's move on to the next slide and see how will it work. Next slide, ma'am. Abha ma'am, please could you share the next slide?
Ma'am, I've shared already.
Okay. Okay, thank you, ma'am. So the problem can be solved by, you can ask him to consider the amount of money as an apple. For example, what we would need to do is share the apple so that John got 12 pieces and Edward got 9. His answer would be slice the apple into 21 equal pieces and give John 12 and Edward 9. So now you can ask, can we split this money up in the same way? So you have changed their using BODMAS. Okay. So you have changed their way of thinking. It doesn't stop there. So the next slide will tell you, don't think outside the box. Think like there is no box at all. This is where design thinking comes in. So long we were telling our students, think outside the box, think outside the box. Now I'm taking you, think like there is no box. Let them think, let their imagination run wild. Okay, but you need to direct their thinking. That is very important. Next slide, ma'am. It takes 2 hands to clap, right? You cannot clap with 1 hand. Now the 5 things that you had to do, you completed doing. Now there are 5 things that the students need to do, okay? Which have to be in alignment with your 5 stages. And those 5 things are the 5 Ds: discover, define, dream, design, dry run. And this is what you need to start practicing in your daily lessons, in your classes. Okay. What you have done is, what did you do? What were the 5 stages that you all followed in design thinking? Can we recall? What are the 5 stages that you followed in design thinking? Empathize, okay. Define, very good. Ideate, prototype, and test, correct. What are the 5 steps that the students have to follow? Discover, define, dream, design, and dry run. Okay, I will tell you how it falls in line with whatever you are teaching. Okay, ma'am, next slide, please. For example, you've heard of Parle-G. Now, Parle-G is a beloved household name. Imagine if you were to introduce Parle-G flavor in the market. How would you make sure that people will like this new flavor? Keep in mind that people from different demographics, financial backgrounds consume Parle-G. Some even have it as a full meal. Or, you know, there are different students in the class. So, you can divide the class in different groups, and, to another group, you can say, discuss the glory of Kodak cameras in their time, what mistakes led to their failure, what types of strategy can bring in the change and promote the company and their products. So they will think, they will do a lot of research, they will discover. Okay, they will discover, then they will dream. Okay, after discovery, they will dream, they will design. Okay, then they will dream, they will come up with various solutions, and then they will try and check out with each other. They will try and share ideas with their friends. There will be so much of excitement that they will keep on sharing. Like, one person might say, okay, let's change the wrapper. It'll all begin from there. Let's change the way they advertise. Let's come up with a new name. Or so many things. Nowadays children are so techno savvy that they'll come up with different ideas of presenting things. Okay, so when you give them such type of questions, this is what helps them to understand the subject better. At the same time, they will get interested in your subject, because our main motive is, once they are interested in the subject, all these things can be done very easily with them. Okay, ma'am, can we move on to the next slide? Okay, now this is the cycle which we need to share with our students and ask them if they've understood, whether they'll be able to follow these steps, and guide them accordingly, so that we can get the desired result. Okay, first thing that you have to teach them is to dream. Okay, and when you teach them to dream, they start wondering, okay, what is the problem, or what is the idea? They start asking questions. They will ask you questions. They will ask their friends questions. They will go home and talk about it. Okay. There was a question that I gave in one of the classes while I was teaching. Normally we ask them, okay, what is your aim in life? What is your ambition? What are the things that you like? What are you passionate about? Have you ever asked a student, what is your purpose in life? And that day, this thought just came to my mind, and I asked the student, can you take 3 minutes to think, what is your purpose in life? And then someone went on to say, I want to become an engineer, I want to become a doctor. I told them, no, my question is different. What is your purpose in life? And then they came up with beautiful answers, and the whole class was quiet. Initially, when I asked them, what is your purpose in life? They started telling me what are their aims, their ambitions, their goals, and all of it. But I told them, listen carefully. My question is not about what is your aim in life. My question is, what is your purpose in life? See, that one question changed the atmosphere in the classroom. Everyone was quiet, and they started thinking, okay, what's my purpose in life? And then they came up with wonderful ideas. And even when they were sharing ideas, there was so much of excitement, and they were sharing answers that made sense to them. And when it makes sense to them, they try to implement it. Okay, so these are the steps that you can tell them to follow. Wonder, ask, imagine, create, try and fix, and share. Also teach the students that they should be open to correction. They should be open to ideas. They should be open where, people, whatever they have shared, there are times when it just needs a little bit of polishing. Okay, so when their friends or their peers do it, sometimes they don't like. So we have to build a positive atmosphere in the classroom, wherein they are the entrepreneurs of tomorrow. So we need to tell them that they need to have a positive attitude, wherein, yes, when they are sharing ideas, they should also accept correction. Okay. So now let's club the two, the design thinking process, what the teacher does and what the students do. Okay. The teacher is empathizing. She is maybe conducting interviews, or she's talking to the students, or she's trying to find out, she's trying to, take a pre-assessment, or she may even just have a general talk with the students to find out where they lack or what are the areas where they need help. Okay, so that is empathizing. Defining is identifying meaningful situations, or inferring on the insights. Ideating is brainstorming. Okay. Prototyping is creating a number of objects and experiences, like you mentioned about the role play, or coming up with a lot of models, a lot of answers. And test is to test whether we have been successful, or whether you need to go back. Similarly, when you club the two together, what the student is doing, discover. There you are empathizing, here he's discovering. He's learning about what he needs to do. He's trying to figure out. Defining. You are defining, the student is also defining. You are trying to channelize their thinking. Here the student is trying to construct a design. Okay. You are facilitating ideation. The student is dreaming. The student is coming up with a number of solutions. Okay. Next is designing. You are building, putting all the ideas together. You're putting the collage together. You're putting the mosaic together. Okay. For you, it is prototype. For the students, it's design. For you, it is testing. For them, it is dry run, trying to figure out which piece fits in the best. For example, next slide, ma'am. You can talk to them about the various problems that society is facing. For example, you give them a question. Women's safety has become the utmost priority of government, considering the rising cases of crime against women. Centuries of patriarchy have made women susceptible to a lot of dangers in society, which has led them to having fend for themselves at every point in their life, that is home, outside, and online. The government of India wants to ensure complete women's safety and security, to empower women to live fearlessly and explore the world confidently. Let's give them this question, then tell them, okay, let's devise the solution using the design thinking process. Explain what you will do under each D in the 5D process. So give them the 5D template and explain to them what they need to do in the process. Next slide, ma'am. I've almost come to the end. I won't take much time. Okay. What if you post a question like this? This is a question for you. So can you put it in the 5 Ds? The 5 Ds are discover, define, dream, design, and dry run. I'm putting the 5 Ds in the chat box. You can do any one of the 5 Ds also. Discover, define, dream, design, dry run. If this question is posted in the class, what do you think? What when you go through these 5 stages? Okay, Dipti ma'am has written strong competition with Italian coffee shops though in 2018 it didn't open. Italians love their authentic coffee taste, not liked by the customer. Okay. All these answers that you are giving me, they are wonderful answers, but I want you to fit them in the box of the 5 Ds. When you're asking them this question, what is preventing from Starbucks from setting up in Italy? What will they do first? They will discover, correct? For discovery, in the discovery stage, what do you think they'll do? Research, very good. Survey, very good. Yes, they'll find solutions. Investigate, okay, define the problem, very good. Study the solution. Yes, they'll think about the competitors, very good. So there you go. When you present questions like these, automatically they will give you answers that fit into the 5 boxes of dream, discover, define, dream, design, and dry run. Understand Italians, very good. So all that I have to say is, when you are presenting a question to your students, next slide, ma'am, what they do is they start connecting the dots to find out the answer, because the question is interesting. And not a single child in the class is left behind, because when you pose such a question, even the low achievers or even children with special needs, you know, they are, you know, they know, okay, there's something like discover, there's something like research. Okay, let me go and check. Right? So everyone is able to participate in the class because they know they have something to share. And that is what all of us teachers expect. We need 100% participation in the class. Are we asking them the right question? Are we connecting it with their real life? Okay. So here we come to the end of this session, wherein I would like to sum up with the benefits. The benefits are, it gives an opportunity to work from a different perspective. It helps us to know the root cause of the problem. It is a way to bridge the gap between the mentor and the mentee. It encourages innovative thinking through problem-solving approach. It ensures that the outcome meets the student requirements. It results in an experience that is more effective and informative for your learner. It creates a soft paradigm shift where the learning outcome is gradual but effective and promising. So cheers to all designers. Thank you for attending this session. Do you have any questions?
Thank you so much, Lavina ma'am. It was indeed a wonderful and enriching session. So we need to think of incorporating design thinking in our lesson planning and execute them to achieve the desired results. So now, dear audience, we have come to the end of the session. So if you have any questions in mind, you can raise your hands and we will take those questions. Salam, so can we take the questions, live questions?
Madam, participants might have shared a few questions at the time of registration.
We already discussed, Lavina ma'am has incorporated most of those questions.
All right. In addition to that, if participants have questions, you can raise your hands as usual. Madam is, will be answering your questions.
As of now, no hands are raised.
All right,
Anyone
then
wants to ask?
Self-explanatory. Thank you. Let's wind up then.
Yes. So I hope we don't have any questions, so we will wind up the session. So let me conclude the session by expressing gratitude. So just a minute. So as I always do, I will begin my vote of thanks with a quote. When you are grateful, when you can see what you have, you unlock blessings to flow in your life. I take utmost pleasure in thanking our eminent resource person for taking effort to update and upgrade the educators so elaborately on the topic. My heartfelt gratitude to you, Lavina ma'am. Thank you so much. A big thanks to Shibu sir for being the program collaborator. My very special thanks to Dr. Salam for directing the program and also providing me the platform to empower myself. My hearty thanks to Arun Mohan sir and Arafat sir for all the technical support in the conduction of the webinar. Thank you, Arun Mohan sir. It was indeed a help by you in the afternoon today. My pranam to the lovely audience for their dynamic participation and support. Putting an end to my speech with a hope to meet you all once again in the future sessions. Thank you, everyone. Now I hand it over to Salam sir. Thank you so much, sir. Over to you, Salam sir.
Thank you, ma'am. And thank you, Lavina, ma'am. It was a very fruitful session. And now I find that there is no box to think out of it, right? And we have to think that they have to assume that there is no box. And students should be, habituated to think within the, their routine. And also, there were lots of, inputs that as you were presenting, participants were very actively participating, and we got so many inputs also, so many activities also as part of design thinking. So, thank you so much for, presenting such a fruitful and wonderful session, Lavina ma'am, and thank you, participants. This is all our attempt to, help you out so that we can prepare the students to meet the challenges of the 21st century. They should be able to think and they have to inculcate, themselves a mindset that they can ideate and innovate, and they are not, ready to be, surrendering to the challenges and the hurdles and the struggles that may be surrounding them in their lives. So thank you so much, each and every participant. And the feedback link is shared. This is, please note that this is a permanent link for every session. Please save it. We need not, post it at any, all the sessions, and please, you can save it and use it at any time. So over to Lavina ma'am. Lavina ma'am.
Yes, sir.
Do you have anything to say?
Sir, all that I have to say is thanks to you for, connecting all of us educators. It's really helpful. It's not only like, giving me the opportunity to share, but when you come up with a topic, we have to do a lot of research and we learn a lot of things. So it helps us for our growth as well, sir. So I'm really grateful to you and for, giving me this opportunity. And I'm sure that all the other resource persons will also agree that when we have been asked to speak about the topic, it's first that we go through a drilling process. And so thank you so much, because that is required. That is what they say, no, that gold is polished only by friction, and that is what happens, because we get to learn a lot of things. So thank you so much. We are truly, truly grateful to you, sir. I have no words to thank you. It's not only these sessions, but even the resource material that you share with teachers around the world is really very helpful. So thank you very much, sir. God bless you. And special thanks to Abha ma'am. Even last minute when I asked her to do some corrections and all that, she was very, very supportive. Thank you so much, Abha ma'am.
My pleasure, ma'am. My pleasure. And I have done nothing, though. But yeah, thank you so much. And thank you, Salam, sir.
Thank you. Thank you.
For all the
Thank you, ma'am. Every session is a new learning experience, ma'am. I'm also learning a lot of things.
Yes.
Right. So thank you so much, everyone. Thank you. Let's wind out.
Thank you. Yes.
Yes. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Arun Mohan, sir, are we ending the session?
Yes, ma'am. Because
Yes, yes,
you
ma'am.
know, this link, let it be there for a few minutes, then we'll wind it.